Good evening. It is 7 o'clock and welcome to the meeting of the Raynham Board of Selectmen on Tuesday, December 1st, 2020. I would just like to call the meeting to order and announce that pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 18, and the governor's new order imposing strict limitations on the number of people who may gather in one place. This meeting of the Raynham Board of Selectmen is being conducted remotely, with the general public following the proceedings remotely.
Mike, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am.
Are we good, Mike?
Mike?
Yeah, what's going on? I'm here.
Okay. Every effort has been made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. For real-time access, residents can join our live broadcast on the Raynham Channel or use the GoToMeeting app phone and or call in using their phone. I will do a roll call vote for attendance. Selectman Joseph Pacheco. Joe, are you there? Selectman Richard Chavo.
Yes, I am here, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Dick. Joe, are you with us?
Madam Chair, I believe he's online. He's
Joe, are you with us? I believe he is. Maybe
Pat, he just I just messaged him. He's not hearing anything, so I'm gonna kick him off and have him try to rejoin.
Okay. All right, let's we'll pause for a couple of minutes then. Just while we're doing that, just want to mention we are totally remote this evening. One of our town hall family members received a call this morning that a close contact has received a positive test for COVID. So right now, town hall is closed and is being deep sanitized so that it can reopen tomorrow morning in a very safe manner. And we want to thank our fire department for assistance with that. I'm just holding right now till we get our third member on board here. We'll announce that in addition to our selectmen, we also have with us, I see our town administrator, Graham Waters. I believe our police chief, James Donovan, is going to be joining us as well. Health agent, Matt Tanis, animal control officer, Linda Brackett, Board of Assessors chair, Jennifer Banks Oldfield, and several others of you. If you want to join in, we invite you to do that during the meeting. Special thanks to our Raychem Executive Director, Michael Halen, for all of the technicalities involved in making this happen, and our recording secretary, Janet Murphy. Has Joe joined us at this point? Joe Pacheco? Mike Halen, can you help out here?
Yeah, we had two other callers that just jump on. I don't know if Joey's either of them. You can't call in. Okay. I'm going to try to make this happen.
Okay, it looks like his microphone is on, but I guess he's not able to hear us. Bill Lewis joining us as well, member of the Board of Assessors. Hi, Bill. Everybody's so shy to put their cameras on. Oh my goodness. I like to see faces.
Yeah, that's me, Mike.
Hi there.
I can hear you on the phone. I can't hear you on the computer, though.
Joe, can you hear us?
I'm going to try to patch him in 1 second, Pat.
Okay, thank you. I think once Joe is able to join us, we're going to go right to the public hearing, divert a little bit from the regular order of business since the public hearing was scheduled for 7 o'clock. And I will just announce a public hearing at the request of the Board of Assessors. The Board of Selectmen will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, December 1st at 7:00 p.m. to discuss classification of real and personal properties for the town, the Raynham Center Water District, and the North Raynham Water District. All interested parties will be heard at this time. And again, we are just waiting for Selectman Pacheco to be able to join us.
Pat, if I might, while we're waiting, this is Dick Chavo. I do want to echo your sentiments, thanking Fire Department for helping with the sanitization at the last minute. That's so much appreciated, and our health agent as well to keep us up to date on where we are. So just to kind of break in while we're waiting, I certainly wanted to echo your sentiments.
Oh, definitely, Dick. And yes, also our health agent, Matt Tanis, who's always on top of all things health related, and we really appreciate that. If you're just joining us, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, waiting for one of our selectmen to be able to join us. We are all remote this evening. I will just mention that Town Hall is open by appointment only if anybody does want to visit, other than obviously our employees are working in Town Hall on a regular basis.
Yes, and Pat, just to follow up on that comment again, while we're waiting for the technical issues, anybody that does appear at Town Hall, they'll note that there is a notice on the board, on the door, I should say, that gives the phone numbers of the various departments, and so that they can contact them at that point if they needed to help them with the process of establishing their direct contact with the town personnel.
Sure, thank you, Dick. And now there's a Ring doorbell too, so that if you don't have a phone, a cell phone handy, you can ring the doorbell and get assistance that way.
Perfect, exactly.
Hey, Pat, I just talked to Joe, and he should be calling in any second now,
Okay.
hopefully.
All right, terrific. You know, I have to say, Dick, that I would have thought you or I would have been the ones having technical difficulties, not Joe.
It blows me away. And by the way, I'm wearing a tie.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want to you can't put your camera on because you're calling in. Okay.
No, I know it. That's why he brought it up. I'm on the phone, but just so you know, I'm only kidding, of course. But no, I know the technical thing is not my. It's not my strong point.
Not mine either.
But
Madam Chair,
Are you here with us, Joe?
I am. I apologize. Thank you to Mike Halen for assisting me.
Sure, no problem. We were just joking that we thought it would either be Dick or myself that had technical difficulties.
It's been one of those days, Madam Chair. I appreciate your patience.
I know. Well, I'm just going to now call the public hearing to order. At the request of the Board of Assessors, the Board of Selectmen will hold a public hearing to discuss classification of real and personal properties for the town, the Raynham Center Water District, and the North Raynham Water District. All interested parties will be heard at this time. According to the usual format for a public hearing, we will turn it over for a presentation by the chairman of our Board of Assessors, Jennifer Banks Oldfield. Jen? Oops. I think, Jen, you're muted. Can you turn your microphone on? Great.
Sorry. Thanks, Pat. Thank you. I am Jen Banks Oldfield, the chairperson. I thank the Board of Selectmen for having us tonight. I would like to review with you the numbers that were compiled to set the fiscal year 2021 tax rate. We have abbreviated our regular narration and are focusing on the pertinent numbers and omitting much of the historical data that we typically include in our presentation. I believe all of you were emailed a copy of the presentation packet. If I could ask you to turn to page 1. We are going to review the levy limit and how that was brought together. First, by looking at how the levy limit was calculated for fiscal year 2020, taking the fiscal year 2019 levy limit, adding in the amended growth, subtracting out the amended growth for fiscal year 2019 from the 33,717,292, we deducted the 3,695, which mostly resulted from abatements, added in the 2.5% of 842,840, and added in the new growth of 606,902, which gave us a subtotal of 35,163,339. The levy ceiling for 2020 was 59,461,569. The levy limit from 2020 was brought forward to for this year. So we take the 35,163,339. Again, we deducted the amended growth of 36,251, which again was abatements, and then for the solar fields, we added in the 2.5% of 878,177 and the new growth of 569,639 for a subtotal of 36,574,904. The 2021 levy ceiling was $61,091,305. We then bring the 36 million figure. We add in the debt exclusions, which were for items that were voted for by the town during elections. Some of these are older, the schools, the sewer. So from added to the 36,574,904, we add the debt exclusion of 2,957,861 for a maximum allowable levy of 39,532,765. Any questions on that maximum allowable levy and how that was created?
No.
Mr. Pacheco, do you have any questions?
No, no questions. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. This will bring us to page 2. The town of Raynham has 3,856,000 single-family homes, 454 condominiums, and 28 apartment buildings. The town has 303 commercial industrial properties and 497 personal property accounts. The town has 21 parcels under Chapter 61, 61A, and 61B, which is forestry, agricultural, and recreational use. And the total taxable valuation is $2,443,652,210, with 5,772 taxable accounts. We bring forward that levy limit of $39,532,765. The new levy that we're looking at is $39,099,233, which leaves an excess levy of $433,532. With this, the single tax rate would be $16 per thousand. Historically, the Board of Assessors has recommended and the Board of Selectmen has approved a shift of 126. This shift puts a bit more of the tax burden onto the commercial industrial sector, but not so much as to prohibit companies from wanting to do business in the town. It is again recommended by the Board of Assessors to continue that shift of 126, which would result in a residential rate of $14.69 per thousand, and for commercial, $20.16. The debt exclusion of $2,957,861 has an impact of $1.21 on the tax rate. Single-family assessments range from a low of $179,600 to a high of $1,176,000. Average assessment for a single-family home is $413,200, creating an average tax bill of $6,070. with the debt exclusion portion of the tax bill being $500. The Water District's total taxable valuation for the north is $648,906,005, and for the center, it's $1,693,590,171. This has the district rates at for north at $1.81 and the center at 72 cents per thousand. These are the rates that are recommended by the Board of Assessors for fiscal 2021. Any questions on the suggested new rates?
Mr. Pacheco, do you have any questions, Joe?
No, I have no questions. Very straightforward, and appreciate Jen, the board, Jessica, and the assessing staff for, again, putting together a very comprehensive and informative presentation. So that's it. Thank you.
Mr. Shavo, do you have any questions?
Done. I think the continuing the ratio or the shift from to at 126 is consistent with where we've been in the past. And I want to echo Mr. Pacheco's comments and say that Jen, it's just an outstanding job you and your team have done, and much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you. Back to you, Jen. Any more?
I'm just going to go off of what you said. The Board of Assessors would like to extend full recognition to our two office members, Jessica Garcia, who is our assistant assessor, and Amy Engelhardt, who is our clerk. They're just top-notch employees and a huge asset to the town and to our board. Both were instrumental in putting these figures together, along with Mike King and the accountant Chris Love-Violet, and we thank them all for their efforts and cooperation. We thank you all for your time and attention tonight, and please let me know if there's any additional information that you need from us.
Okay, thank you, Jen. I'm going to, before the board votes, I'm going to ask if anyone else has any questions that they would like to pose at this time. Okay, seeing none, I will turn it back to the board then. Do we have a motion?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I would motion to maintain the rate at 126% for the upcoming year.
And do we have a second?
Yes, Madam Chair, I will second the motion.
We have a motion by Mr. Pacheco, second by Mr. Shavo. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye as well, so it is a unanimous vote. Thank you. And Jen, again, thank you for that great presentation, for all of those that you cited for helping out in this, and our other board members as well, Bill Lewis and Sarah Brennan.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And so I think we'll now revert to the regular order of business, which is the approval of the minutes of November 24th, 2020. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes as printed?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
Motion by
Second.
Mr. Shavo,
Second.
second by Mr. Pacheco. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So voted. Next, we have department heads. I believe our police chief, Chief Donovan, was going to join us. Are you with us, Chief? Chief Donovan? I know he was at Town Hall looking for us earlier, so he may join us in a little.
Chief Donovan, if you're hearing this and you're on a phone, you have to hit *6 to unmute yourself. How's that?
Oh, that sounds good, Chief. Go right ahead, Chief.
So in the month of November, the police department responded to 1,720 calls. 492 of those calls were reported via 911, and there were 61 bookings. And probably our most significant event of the month was town meeting, which was, I think, pretty well attended and went really well considering what we're dealing with. And we appreciate all the support that we got from the board and from our meeting attendees.
Does that conclude your report, Chief?
It does.
Do we have any questions? Mr. Pacheco?
No question. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks, Chief.
Mr. Shavo?
None, Madam Chair, and thank you again, Chief, for all the great work you guys do.
Yeah, thank you, Chief, and the members of your department. I know you're always dealing with so many accidents, and it's that crazy time of year. So just ask everybody out there to please be careful. Maybe take it a little bit slower than usual because everybody is in so much of a rush, and we don't want to have any more accidents.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have our health agent, Matt Tanis. Are you with us, Matt?
I am, ma'am. Just give a quick update on COVID. So as of 4 p.m. this afternoon, confirmed cases of COVID-19 within Raynham since the start is 424 cases. 103 of those are from long-term care facilities and 321 from the general Raynham population. Deaths has fortunately been stable. 57 reported deaths altogether. 52 of those are from long-term care facilities and 5 are Raynham residents. We have 307 reported recoveries, and that leaves 60 active cases at this time. We're certainly seeing a big uptick in cases as was predicted with a fall surge, which has left some different tactics as far as calling and doing contact tracing, some different prioritizing, looking more towards the cases that we receive the test results more in a timely manner. And those cases that we receive test results when they're closer to the end of their isolation period, they would be less of a priority, just to try and stop the spread further. Certainly, if you think you're sick or have been in close contact with someone who's tested positive, please get tested and stay home. Especially once tested, please stay home and quarantine until you receive your results. I've been seeing hearing a fair number of people that they think they might have had symptoms or were in close contact, and they go get tested and they don't quarantine until they get the results. And it's really important that if you're going to get tested because you think you are sick, please stay home as much as you can. Also, samples in the last, I'd say 2 weeks or so, a lot of test samples that have been sent to commercial labs such as Quest Diagnostics, they're taking an extended period of time for results to come back. So I just ask the public, please be patient. There's a huge amount of testing going on. And if it takes a while for the results to come back, please know that you will receive them. It's just taking some time. Business owners, if you do have someone that's tested positive, please follow all the Department of Public Health and Department of Labor standard guidance and notify our office as well. We can walk you through on the procedures that you would need to take, including conducting a cleaning, closing and conducting a cleaning, and we can help identify any workplace close contacts if necessary. And just lastly, I'd like to just say that both our long-term care facilities in town continue to maintain regular contact with our office and are continuing to follow all DPH guidance. And it's at this point definitely showing that it's helping. And if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Mr. Pacheco, any questions for our health agent?
No questions. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mr. Shavo?
None, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, thank you, and thank you, Matt, for keeping us all up to date and reminding us of all of the precautions we should take. Are there any other department heads that wish to speak at this time? Okay, then we will move on. Next, we have an appointment, Matthew Pollock's Constable reappointment. I believe this comes with the recommended approval of the police chief. Do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion, Madam Chair.
Motion by
Second.
Mr. Shavo, second by Mr. Pacheco. Any discussion?
None.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. It is a unanimous vote. Next, we have completion of old and continuing business, discussion on town kennels safety concerns. I know this is something that you wanted on the agenda, Mr. Shavo, and I believe our animal control officer, Linda Brackett, is online with us as well. I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Shavo.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, based on a few comments that we've had, ongoing, really, comments with regard to the safety at the various kennels. This is a motion that I would make predicated on that input that we've received from residents, and that is that all kennels must keep dogs in fenced-in areas, whether it's for training or for exercise or for any other reason. That when the animals are out, they're in a fenced-in area, and so that would be the motion. I'm just explaining that. Whether the kennel owner wants a large area or a small area, that's their choice, but whatever the size of the area, it should be fenced in. And so let me just repeat, my motion is that all kennels must keep dogs in fenced-in areas for training and for exercising. And with that motion, if it is approved by the board, I realize that we'd have to amend our bylaw, which would follow the board's approval.
Okay. All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second for discussion?
I'll second for discussion.
Go ahead, Joe.
Just to kind of echo what Mr. Shivo correctly pointed out, is I believe this would require an amendment to our bylaw. So our action tonight would be continued upon a future town meeting adopting an amendment to the bylaw for kennel licenses in town. But otherwise, I have no objections.
Okay, as we know, we are in the process of reviewing the town bylaws, so it might be prudent for our animal control officer to review all of our town bylaws related to kennels and you know, see if there are any other recommendations that she would want to bring forward to us. But we do have a motion and a second, and as pointed out, it would be contingent on going forward to address that with an amendment or a change to the town bylaws. Do we have any additional discussion?
None.
Is our animal control officer, Linda, are you there? Do you want to comment before we have a final vote?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. Yeah, that's fine. I am working on the bylaws. There were a few changes that need to be made. Based on the direction of the board, I will get that done, and I'll look at some other towns to see, you know, how it's worded, and then we can present them the completed package once it's done.
Okay, great. Thank you, Linda. With no additional discussion, I will ask for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye, so it is a unanimous vote. Thank you very much. Thank you, Linda. Next,
You're
under
welcome.
business, we have discussion on the January special town meeting. Mr. Waters, do you want to comment on this? Graham?
Sure. Thank you, Madam Chair. The board received a letter from our town accountant in regards to our ambulance fund, which is usually transferred. There's money transferred from the ambulance account into the ambulance fund every 6 months. This is done at the annual town meeting and at the fall town meeting. Unfortunately, because of the quirkiness of this year's fall town meeting, that article got missed. However, the ambulance fund still needs to be funded. So the request to have a January special town meeting for just the sole article of the transfer of the funds from the ambulance account to the ambulance fund is what is being on the agenda for tonight and what's proposed.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Waters. We do have a copy of the letter you referred to from Christopher Lavalette, our interim town accountant, in which he states that it is possible to fund the final 6 months of operations with a town meeting vote. Ideally, a special town meeting should be called sooner rather than later to avoid spending an excessive appropriation, which would violate Massachusetts general laws. I concur to hold a special town meeting in January to resolve this matter. Any comments from the board?
Yeah, Madam Chair. I think we've all had some conversations on this, and I would concur with that as well. Unfortunately, as Mr. Waters stated, it was missed a few weeks back. I did have a chance to speak to the moderator. He suggested January 12th, and so if you'll indulge me, I do have a couple proposals for motion so we can move forward on this.
Sure, go right ahead.
Okay. The first would be to set a special town meeting for one article relative to the funding the last 6 months of the ambulance budget on January 12th to further open the warrant this week and place this on the agenda next week to close it, and also have a discussion on utilizing the state law that the governor passed, Section 7, relative to municipal governance and quorum, and have that posted consistent with the language that was provided to us by town council.
Okay, so your motion is to set a special town meeting for January 12th for one article and to open the warrant this evening and place it on the agenda for next week's meeting to close the warrant and also to discuss the logistics. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. And we would have to just, again, to clarify, post the language that the town council provided to the board a little earlier this evening by email.
Okay. Do we have a second for discussion?
Second, no discussion. I agree.
Okay. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. It is so voted. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, we have job description for the town accountant, budget manager, Mr. Waters.
Thank you again, Madam Chair. The board received a draft copy of the town accountant budget manager job description, I believe it was a day or two ago. I also sent a copy to the search committee for them to review, and the board has it for them for comment or discussion.
Okay, thank you. I know
Madam-
Mr. Lewis is on at the meeting as well. He's going to be heading up the search committee, and I believe his committee is going to be meeting tomorrow to go over this job description as well. So we'd like to review it tonight, but if we could hold off until next week to take a final vote on it in case the search committee wants to offer any additional information. But I'll open it for discussion right now. Mr. Shavo.
Yes, I was going to say very, very consistent with your comments just now, Madam Chair. I believe we should table further discussion on the job description until we've had a chance to really go through the various pieces, because it is very involved in terms of accountant and budget manager and so forth. So my motion is to chair it so that we can table it so that we can have further discussion.
I'll second for discussion, Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr. Pacheco.
Yeah, no, I would just second your comments, Mr. Shivo's comments. I think it's a good start. Definitely some edits need to be made. For example, page 3, it references city council and city auditor. Obviously, we're not a city and we don't have an auditor or a city council. So there's some changes we, need to make. And I would also be open to hearing what Mr. Lewis and his committee have for input as well. So yeah, I think taking this under advisement until next week is prudent.
Okay, very good. We have a motion and a second to table this until next week. Any further discussion?
None.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is a vote. Thank you so much. Next, we have our town administrator's report. Mr. Waters.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Give me 1 second, please. Ongoing business includes the Collins Center study. It continues underway with interviews taking place this week and next week. The project team is still on track to have a draft report compiled by the close of the year. Interviews for health clerk and treasurer collector clerk are being wrapped up, and reference checks are being conducted. The board will be updated on selections out of those two departments. The Council on Aging citing invitation for bids responses are due December 10th and will be opened on the 11th. I anticipate a recommendation coming before the board a week or two after open pending review by the town administrator, building commissioner, Council on Aging director, and the Council on Aging board as well. The Collins Center COOP planning project, as job opening interviews in the Collins Center organizational study wind down, I will be continuing to move forward with this project and working with the Collins Center on developing a COOP. Additionally, other invitation for bids coming up are included for town auditing services and IT services. And so those are on my project list to do in the future. And then the next regularly scheduled Selectmen's meeting is on Tuesday, December 8th at 7 p.m. in Don McKinnon Meeting Room of Town Hall, 558 South Main Street, Raynham, Massachusetts. The public will be able to participate via GoToMeeting or by watching the Raynham Channel on Verizon, Comcast, or recording posted later on YouTube. That is all I have, Madam Chair. I'm open to questions or comments by the board.
Thank you, Graham. Do you have any questions, Mr. Pacheco?
No questions, thank you.
Mr. Shavo?
None, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have Selectmen's report. Mr. Shavo?
No report at this time.
Thank you. Mr. Pacheco?
Yeah, Madam Chair, just one thing. This past Saturday was Small Business Saturday, and hopefully many of us took advantage of that and were able to patronize some of our phenomenal local small businesses in town. And I would just want to take this opportunity to remind folks as they continue to do their holiday shopping, consider some of our local small businesses. I read a study last night, and conservatively, most local businesses are projecting or have already experienced approximately 40% decline in revenue. And, you know, the unique thing about local small businesses are the money stays in the economy because they live there and they work there. And so just a friendly request to, you know, make an effort to frequent some of our great businesses in town and in the region.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Pacheco. I just have a couple of quick things. Cable Advisory Commission Chairman Kevin Ellis, I contacted him after last week's meeting when concerns were raised about Boston Channel 5. Comment had been made that there was concern that Comcast was trying to eliminate Channel 5 and to further transition to the Providence market. Kevin assured me that the Cable Advisory Commission is, as always, on top of all issues cable related. He has spoken extensively with legal counsel Bill August and most recently with Kathy Maloney, who is Comcast Governmental Relations Director and who negotiates all of the cable contracts in Massachusetts for Comcast. As part of the contract negotiation process, Comcast has to negotiate with all of the Boston channels. It actually has nothing to do specifically with the Boston or Providence markets. There had been some difficult negotiations with the Channel 5 owners, but Kathy Maloney assured Kevin that things are working out and she's confident that Channel 5 will not be leaving our Comcast lineup, which is certainly good news. Kevin emphasized that if anyone has any concerns or questions about any cable-related matters, please do not hesitate to contact him by email at kellis, that's KELLIS 3553 at comcast.net, or call the town clerk's office or selectman's office and leave a message and Kevin will get in touch with you. Also just want to state Rave's Raynham Strong Apparel fundraiser is going on. Proceeds will fund Rave's Salute to Our Veterans programs, and they are selling masks, short and long sleeve t-shirts that all say Raynham Strong, as well as what did I say? Masks and t-shirts and sweatshirts. And for more information, you can log on to raynhamvolunteercoordinator@gmail.com. That's the email address. But Monday is the deadline, this coming Monday, to place your orders. Also, the Raynham Public Library is having a Library Friends fundraiser that is ongoing. You can buy a ticket to win a winter basket of goodies, a $50 market basket gift card, or a full-size toboggan. Hopefully we're going to get some snow with fresh greens. And for more information about that, you can call the library at 508-823-1344. And that's all that I have for announcements this evening. I believe we have no correspondence. So do we have any emergency press time? Any members of the press out there who want to address us? Hearing none. Emergency business, Mr. Pacheco?
None, Madam Chair.
Do you have any, Mr. Shavo?
None, Madam Chair.
I have none. Citizen and community input. Does anyone out there wish to address the board at this time?
Pat.
Yes.
Hi.
Yes, Bill Lewis.
Yeah, I got a question for Graham. Are we going to be set for that meeting tomorrow? He's the administrator for the Zoom.
Yes, we're all set, and in the event that the Zoom call doesn't work, I've asked Mike Halen to queue up a go-to, which I can send everybody just in case.
Okay, yeah, I'll talk to you in the morning.
Sounds good.
And Graham and Bill, it's going to be the same access code here for tomorrow morning as it is right now, just in case.
Okay, all
Thank
All
you.
right.
right. Thank
you.
you very much. Anyone else? Hearing none, next we have performance of administrative duties. I'm looking for a motion to approve the Town of Raynham invoice and payroll warrants dated December 1st, 2020.
I will make that motion, Madam Chair.
Motion by Mr.
Second.
Schaaf, second by Mr. Pacheco. Any discussion?
None.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So voted. And a motion to approve the Rainham Police invoice and payroll warrants on dated December 1st, 2020.
I will make that motion, Madam Chair.
And I will second that, and I'll call for a roll call vote. Mr. Shavo,
Aye.
Mr. Pacheco,
Abstain.
and the chair votes aye. So that passes with a majority vote. And next, a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:41 p.m.
Make that motion, Madam Chair.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Shavo, seconded by Mr. Pacheco. Thank you all for joining us. Please have a safe week. Stay well. Thank you.
Thank you.